part of it was just getting back and saying, let's figure out what these people really want from us, and let's deliver that at an excellent level.
This is the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast, a podcast about Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals. Mostly.
Yes, as always, thank you, Matt Wilson, another radio guy that we kind of grew up with and came up with through the ranks. He did the voiceover for this illustrious podcast, the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast, mmtbp.com, powered by Christian Brothers Automotive of Spring Hill. Jason Miller is the owner over there. He does a fantastic job since he's taken over that location. That lot is full, and it's full for a reason, because it's integrity-based treatment of your car. It's a good place to take your car. They're going to do right by you. They're going to be honest. And they're not going to, as we said in the car business, jack you on price. So go check those guys out. And they have the best snack game in town, powered by Christian Brothers Automotive of Spring Hill. And today we are remote at the Tremont Mansion here in Hermitage, Tennessee. And we have Mr. Howard Morgan as a guest.
Good morning,
esteemed guest. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am wonderful.
You have a similar tonality of voice like me, because we share a similar industry once upon a time.
We certainly have both been in that industry from time to time. I think that's true.
We like our baritones, don't we?
We do. Even when we speak trebles normally. That's right.
Now, you were in Seattle.
I was in
radio.
Seattle, Washington.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how did it do it? And you only did it. You said at age 21 before we started recording. You had to. How did you put it?
Well, I went to the legit in life.
Legit in life.
Yeah, I did radio and television from about 17 up until 21.
17 till 21.
Yep.
And you produced a Super Bowl.
And I produced a Super Bowl.
Tell me about that. Which Super Bowl was it, and who were the teams playing?
That is going 50 years back.
I know.
I can remember that. But it was Super Bowl III, so I'm trying to remember who that was.
Now, was it one of those things back then that, is this Super Bowl going to be something? Did you guys know?
No.
Really?
No.
It's almost like WrestleMania in a way.
Yeah. Well, WrestleMania at least started strong, right?
Yeah.
I did go to WrestleMania 3 as well. So
did
there
you?
Might be something. Yes.
I watched that on pay-per-view.
And out of Detroit?
I was in Connecticut. I watched it however we paid for it.
I think it was out of Detroit.
That was 1987?
86 or 87.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that when Hulk took on Andre the Giant?
And that was the largest indoor audience for a sporting event.
That's
at that
right.
Point.
Yeah, Vince McMahon says one thing.
That's right.
And the reality is another.
and WWF, before they got sued by the WWF.
Right, right. Yeah, that was, we used to see their building all the time in Stamford.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of things since then. And it seems by looking at, the areas of expertise that you speak on and teach on are primarily advancing, developing, and retaining talent.
Yes.
Board executive committee effectiveness. It sounds like, to me, I took that as board and executive committee. How do we get them to get along?
Sort of.
Is that how it is? Tell me a little bit about the first one, though. Retaining talent, developing and retaining talent. How did you learn how to do that? And what were some of the jobs and positions you held that excelled that aspect of your career?
Yeah, well, the easiest way, when I went to legitimate work, it was in a telephone company, and then it was in the healthcare industry doing merger and acquisitions. Then I was vice chairman of the Labor Relations Board. A lot of union work in my background. And then headed up a company called Labatt's, which in this part of the world would be known for beer. And the right age at 38, that's when I left and decided I really wanted to focus on the balance between getting the number and how you treat people. And by the way, treat people both internally and externally. Yeah. I am a great believer that we've kind of gotten away from what really makes successful businesses. And I think there's criteria that causes small business to be highly effective. And I think you touched on it, by the way, in part of your intro.
It's how so, if I ever
Okay,
ask.
sure. I think if you have a business that actually demonstrates they care about their clients, and there's really a number of criteria by which you can judge that. If we talk about people, what creates ideal customer satisfaction? One will be you do what I didn't expect you to do. The second thing is you do something that's beyond what I thought you're capable of deciding. And the third is it involves very little cost. Let me give you an example. Dealerships you talk to, I'm sure, do a great job of this, where somebody comes in, they know them by name. There's nothing more personable to us and important to us than someone knowing our name. Now, you can discount it and say, well, Dad, that's a gimmick, but still we want to be seen. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes as businesses, what we forget is the key to success is how many people are entering our store or buying our product. And so the more I can do to align with them, the better that I can not only be successful, but I can have a pretty stable business.
Yeah.
Especially among this time where we all have these giant box stores.
Well, the box stores and also the social media aspect of it.
Yes.
Because it's like you see the businesses that they grind it out every single day. You see the managers or the owners posting in these small, like say a restaurant here in Spring Hill. There's the Grecian restaurant, and they've been grinding every single day. They've been open every single day. They've got such favor from the community that if you dare speak ill of them, the community, it's like good luck, because you're going to get piled on. You know,
that's right.
Don't you dare attack our Grecian restaurant. They are pillars of the community, and they don't have to do any defending of themselves. The community does it for them, and that's because I would assume culture. You know, it starts with leadership. It trickles on down. With our business, we have a belief that it's servant leadership.
Yes.
You know, and it's leaders eat last and things of that nature. We work for our people on the front line. That's how we see it.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I think many times what we forget, when you have loyal clients, they become ambassadors for you. Just talk to these Taylor Swift fans. I mean, you if you're not careful, what you do is you forget that. Mm-hmm. And it takes about 5 years, by the way, to gain that. So the first 5 years,
the truth.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So first 5 years, you're gonna think, well, am I really doing something that matters? Yeah. After 5 years, people will drive across the state to go to see you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we sometimes forget. Our goal is always about retaining core customers. You can always have new ones. You're going to lose some. But who are the people that are going to come in because they really feel that they're aligned with the business?
Hi, I'm Jason Miller. I'm the owner of Christian Brothers Automotive here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We fix cars here, both European and domestic, from simple oil changes to complete engine rebuilds and replacements. Most important thing, though, is while you're waiting, we've got the best snack game in town, and we invite you to make yourself at home and get to know us, and we treat you like family. We're located right across the street from Walmart on Highway 31 right here in Spring Hill. Let us know that you heard about us on this ad, and we'll give you 10% off your next oil change. So stop on in and see us in downtown Spring Hill. Do we even have a downtown in Spring Hill?
And that's being that I was in the car business for a number of years as well. One with a Mercedes dealership, and when we had Mercedes training, like corporate training, it was world class. You know, the dealership I worked with was kind of they were very. It reminded me of radio when I got out, because they started making us wear a ton of hats.
Yes,
not much appreciation given to the lower rank and file like we were.
Right.
So, I mean, in the station where I came from, when I exited the industry here in town, they were a great place. They had a great culture. Yep. I was just done with the industry.
Yep.
I needed to get out and do something. So I ended up going into the car business. And boy, you really will run into people who teach you and show you how to do things and how not to do things.
That's
when
correct.
It comes to management.
That's correct.
Especially in that business. My gosh.
Well, and it all depends on the business too.
Yeah.
So for example, if I can tell you a quick story. So when I was in the alcohol business, I would try to go out in the field. And I would go out with a salesperson, and there was one specific person I could remember that had a geographic area. Mm-hmm. And I went out with them, and I spent the day, and I thought, this person shouldn't be with us. Mm. And then I went back and I reflected, and they were perfect for the region. Now, I couldn't put them anywhere else, but for that region, everybody loved them. And so sometimes what we try to do is I always say we cubbyhole people. We try to find little spots to put them. Mm-hmm. If we're not careful, sometimes what we do is there's many times, especially in smaller towns and smaller regions, where people have great pride around that, and they want to deal with local, and they want to feel recognized, and they're anti-big. And it doesn't matter if you're supporting big or small. The question is, are you adapting to the size and what your customer base wants?
Well, I'm especially with you make a good point with big. You got the big box stores.
Sure.
They have to struggle with trying to relate to the community all the time.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. And sometimes what we do as small businesses is, and by the way, I'm speaking to somebody who started 4 businesses. So success doesn't come from the fact that you're brilliant and you have an idea as an owner. Mm-hmm. It really comes from, do you come up with an idea? Do you figure out what people really want? Do you treat people like you really do appreciate them? That's the network that builds that loyalty, and now that customer base will sell you. It'll just keep selling you. And word of mouth, and referral in any business, my theory is you can't ever beat that.
Now, is this sort of like kind of have a belief system of yours that is kind of like all these things, the executive team consulting and coaching that you're doing, as well as employee retention, customer relation? Is there a core belief that you kind of adhere to?
Other than my own, probably not. No, I would say that it probably revolves a little around the lifetime value of a customer, mm-hmm. right? You never want to think of customer as a transaction. You want to think about it as where is this person? How long can I have them? And what do I need to do? And another way of looking at it is, are they a good customer?
Yeah.
There are some of clients, I remember a client will remain unnamed, that we took a look and they were large. Took a look at, and we said, there's a lot of time in the customer service area. And it was in the finance side. Mm-hmm. And so what we did is we took a look at what were the 5% of clients that took the most time and brought in the least revenue. And what we did is we hand them business cards of our competitor.
That is a thing, man.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest headaches are the least amount of money.
That's right. Because what happened, we always talk about the squeaky oil does the grease. Mm-hmm. If we're not careful, what we do is we pay so much attention, then we lose good customers. And there's nobody that figured out that more than telephone companies back 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah. Because in the cell companies, if you remember what they would do all sorts of offers to attract you over, but they wouldn't give you the offer if you're a current customer.
Yeah.
Well, finally they got smart and said, wait a minute, we got to have people leave us to get a good deal. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes you just have to say, what do we want to be and how do we be true to ourselves? So to answer your question, in dealing with those companies, big or small, it's always about the same thing. You can't, I'll give you a good example. It's a public story. So American Express, I worked with them for 4 years around they were having a huge problem with client retention and with business retention, more business than client. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason was they really lost track with what they wanted. So part of it was just getting back and saying, let's figure out what these people really want from us, and let's deliver that at an excellent level.
Is it one of those things where you're just simply defining very simply, what is the problem we solve?
Sure.
Is it?
Sure. I think at its core, you're right. I think sometimes we overcomplicate something. I think the other thing we do, and this happens a lot in banks, where small banks, really small regional banks, try to be like big banks. Yeah. You don't want to do that. You can't compete with them. So instead, what can I do as a bank that's a small size bank in this state to really give people what other banks can't give them? Because big banks can't turn that freighter quick enough, right? Yeah. So you can do things and they'll value it.
Is it more important for, it's funny because I'm getting into the marketing side of things. I'm a big proponent of a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing.
Yes.
And there's a law called the Law of Candor.
Yeah.
And it's between 2 rental car companies back in the day, Hertz and Avis. I want to say Avis was the one that was the number 2 in the category. Hertz was number 1.
Yep.
And Avis was like, look, we may not be number 1, but we try harder.
That's right.
And it's like, can you in this day and age say that about yourself, or is it more incumbent to let your customers say that about you?
I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I did work with Avis, and we discovered that saying you were number 2 and tried harder actually was a negative.
Really?
Yes, eventually. Because what you're doing is validating. It's sort of like, I'm number 2 and I'm proud of it. Well, I should go to the big dog, the person that's leading the business. So that's where it gets down to. There's nothing ever. I think one of the things we do, and you would have seen this in your marketing side, you have to always determine back what people want. Mm-hmm. And if you figure that out and then develop your protocol and your structure, then it works.
Yeah, starting with the market will tell you what.
Always.
Where to go.
Always will tell you.
Yeah,
and people will tell others where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we got, well, my business, we do multicolor DMX programmable lighting for car
Yes,
washes.
yes.
You've been in a car wash lately. It's like a circus.
Yeah.
And at the time when we were getting into that space, we were just doing commercial lighting.
Yeah.
So we had a car wash locally, and they said, hey, these lights are great and all, but can you make them change color? We're like, oh. Then we realized that was like everybody in that industry wanted that. You just got to stumble across it.
Well, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but does it matter?
Yeah.
Right? That's the other thing that comes up is, does it matter? If that's what the customer wants, give them lights.
Right. That changed colors.
That's right. It changed colors.
How did it become like when you're coaching like boardrooms and committees and stuff like that? What's typically what are you coaching on first and foremost, and what's the common thread issue that always comes up?
I would say I would coach them a lot on strategy and strategy of both internal and external customer. What are they doing with their business? And a lot of times it's, what are you doing with your business that's going to cause you to landslide in 10 years? And how do you stay ahead?
Yeah.
Being number one is a horrible spot. So that's where Avis was right. Being number one is a horrible spot because everybody's shooting for you. And if you're not careful, you get arrogant and they pass you.
Right.
Right. So a lot of times it's working with clients like that. They can be large, even small clients. I have clients that probably have 100 people and they're fun because they can change things real quick.
Yeah.
But sometimes founders, and I've been a founder 4 times, I said, so sometimes founders can get stubborn, right? Rather than, there's a time when you just have to say, let's be open-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you come in, you're basically seeing the outside of their bottle.
Exactly.
And you could read the label because they're inside of it. They can't see it.
Well, the thing that helps me a lot with that is I think the youngest president of a public health company in Canada. Plus, I've started 4 companies, of which 3 have done phenomenally well. I think last year billed just under $500 million.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got a company that's challenging.
Right.
So even I'm willing to admit you can't ever say you get things perfect, right? It's I think part of it is how to know when to shift early. So when I would work with companies, my thing is always, where's your trouble area and why are you not letting go of it?
Okay, so being able to, you're almost like a prognosticator.
Yeah.
Pontificating, well, not pontificating, but getting out the crystal ball and saying, man, I'm seeing that the writing's on the wall. This is going to pivot probably in this direction. You need to be thinking about this.
Sure, because as you know, what we tend to do is rationalize that. Well, it's COVID or there's a problem.
Right. I'm comfortable.
This
is the way we've always done it. Right.
Or it never worked last time.
Right.
How about that one? I mean, we always forget about McDonald's in 1971, had the Egg McMuffin open for breakfast and bombed.
Wow, really?
Yes. It was in the Target market in Canada and it bombed. And guess what they did? They went back, they stopped. They went back, came back 5 years later and did research that said, part of the challenge is we want more than just an Egg McMuffin and coffee. And they did. Now look at breakfast. It's what, 30% or 35% of the revenue.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I think most companies can do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's even like some of your sponsors, they're going to take a look and say, where's the core of ours by which most are attractive to our customers?
Yeah.
The ones that are most open to that, rather than saying, no, we're open from 8 to 4 and they can make it work. But if you're flexible, people appreciate it.
Does your garage door sound like this? If it does, it's screaming for help. Call Incredible Doors, 931-348-DOOR. We're making garage doors in Murray and Williamson counties work better and sound better. We just make them incredible again. Go to IncredibleDoors.com or call 931-348-DOOR. Follow us on Facebook for specials on maintenance visits, keypads, and other items. 931-348-DOOR. IncredibleDoors.com.
It's funny because you have companies like Chick-fil-A, we're closed on Sunday, guys. Sorry. And that's like the biggest thing that car dealerships dealt with is, do we open up on Sunday? Some states you can't.
Yes.
In Tennessee you
Yes.
can. So when I worked for Mercedes, I went to them because, hey, it's better hours. You make better per car. I don't know if I told you that I was in the car business.
Yeah, you did. That was great.
Yeah, old man brain.
I know.
And the brand was just phenomenal.
Right.
I stood to this day, I still love the brand. But I moved to that dealership to be closer to home, make better money, have better hours, be with my family more. And I have Sundays off. Great. And then all of a sudden one day, like, oh, we're going to start opening Sundays.
Right. Right.
Why?
Right.
Well, because they're shopping us and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but I think you kind of create demand. If they want to come by the lot and walk around without any pressure, then great. But
see, I
don't know if it made a difference.
No, but that's a phenomenal example.
Yeah.
Because when I was but a young'un, we didn't open Sundays, or nothing was open Sundays. And if you opened Sunday, nobody would go in.
No.
It was a day of rest, and you didn't go in. So you do have to, and I think your Chick-fil-A example is a good one, because one of the things I always point out to people is, if you take a look at their average revenue by week, it goes down because they're not opening Sundays.
Right.
It's not that they make up for it in 6 days. So that's another. Now,
but they're still got a line wrapped around that building. My God. Yeah.
Yeah. They know how to make demands, right? It's the ultimate question. Supply and demand drives revenue.
And it's also the experience, I want to say, because you talk about hiring and finding good talent. A friend of mine, his name is Hal Bowman. He had a program called Teach Like a Rockstar, and he would do staff development days at schools all around the country. And he explained it to me like this. He says, whenever you want to find a good kid, he says, sometimes the ones that are overloaded with their extracurricular activities, they're doing the clubs, the sports, those are the kids to hire.
Right.
Even though they might have scheduling issues. And he's like, you have no idea how good of a kid you're going to get when
you are absolutely right.
Isn't that crazy?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think your idea is perfect, because if there's a place called, I may get it slightly wrong, a place called Coney Hot Dogs in Texas. So they have like 20. Last time I looked, they had 23 locations. They were known for two things, and I learned this from going there. The first thing was, during the Great Depression, they would serve anybody a hot dog even if they couldn't afford it, and that was the trust system. And they would say, just pay us back when you get a chance.
Or pay us what you can.
Yeah, or pay us what you can.
Right.
And the customer loyalty around that. The other thing was, when I went in, they had the greatest staff. And they stayed a long time. And I sort of talked to them for a while, and they said, they treat us really great. They had some form of handicap, and they made it really comfortable for them. And as a result, as a customer, you just kind of feel good going in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we lose a lot now, is we lose, where do we go to feel good? Where do we go to the clothing store and walk through and they go, hi, Mr. Morgan, I think I've got a suit you'll like. We've lost that somewhere in the mix.
Yeah, I see. And it makes it easier for companies to kind of rise above, because you have the Chick-fil-A's, the Publix. We just had a Publix open in our area of town. We've had to deal. I'm just going to sound bad. We've had to, quote, deal with Kroger for the last 20 years. And now we have a Publix. They say we're shopping as a pleasure. I've heard probably from 10 people over the last year or two, it really is a pleasure to shop there.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if you can have a marketing message that people they feel it.
That's right.
Oh, man. Game over.
Look at the turnover rates of Costco.
Costco.
Non-existent.
Yeah. Right.
Who else is going to go
Destination
park in a
workplace.
parking lot that's jammed? Right? Who's going to go in there, fight your way through all the, I call them the feeding troughs, so you get, they're feeding people, and get three things you need and stand in a long line and leave.
Yeah. But that takes time.
It takes time.
That's a culture thing.
Well, I'll tell you another culture, because you're from New York. You'll appreciate this. When I was doing along with American Express in New York, I was driving into town every day, and I'd go across the bridge. And there was a bridge, and had like 6 toll booths open. And there were 2 cars here, 2 cars here, 2 cars here, and 6 cars there. And this, I go, fine. It's like pulling where the 2 cars are. After about a week, I couldn't resist. I thought, I have to go see why these 6 cars are over here. So I get up to the booth, and this guy's saying, hey, how you doing? It's a lovely day to be in New York.
Oh, wow.
And he's waving. And you're thinking, this is New York, which, as you know, aren't the warm and fuzzy capital of the world.
Yeah.
And yet somebody that's warm and fuzzy, they loved seeing that in the morning because they were probably grumpy drinking their coffee. It made a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In New York, the common salutation is, "What are you looking at?"
That's right. That's right. And stop it.
Yeah. So it's funny. We had a guy down here when I worked in radio. He came from Staten Island, so instantly he and I hit it off because we're both, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I have a little bit of Italian in me, and he was all Italian. And the girl at the front desk, she was also the assistant bookkeeper. She would be at the front desk to fill in sometimes. Yep. And when he started, his whole thing was, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
He didn't really care how you were doing. That was a salutation.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, what do you think?" I asked Tracy, her name was. She's from here. She is Southern. Rubber band in her mouth, everything.
Okay.
And she, I said, "How do you like John? He's a nice guy." She's like, "I don't know. I'm still," he asked me how I was doing, and I wanted to go tell him, and he just kept on walking. I'm like, "Oh yeah, we do that." That's a thing. We don't really care how you're doing.
Well, no, there's a great segue to one of the reasons I was here is giving a talk that really revolves around respect. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, we all want to be seen.
Acknowledgement. Yeah,
and we all want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
And we all want for somebody to say hi to us. And we're pretty basic human level people.
Yeah.
But we always want to make it complex, and it's not complex.
Would you find that when you go into like the executive level meetings and coaching, that is it a common what's the percentage that you find that the team is just disconnected from the ranks?
90%.
Really?
Well, I think here's what happens. It's funny. I'm writing a new book. The difference between are you a fame person or a success person? Mm. Needless to say, most executive teams are fame people, right? They're there. They want to fluff up their chest and do it. So what happens is for them, they're all fighting for their airtime. Mm-hmm. And as a result of fighting for the airtime, they really don't have a way of trying to find a way to get that best answer. So I think that's where it comes from. I think in working with executives, the challenge always is, can you leave your ego at the door and again, recognize there could be somebody that knows more about this subject than you.
Yeah.
And
that's a biggie.
That's a biggie.
Coachable.
Well, here's a good factoid for you. Is since 20 or 30 years I've been doing this, a good friend of mine called Marshall Goldsmith and I have run ongoing research. Mm-hmm. And the research is, what is the one thing that you can do that will pretty well guarantee you'll be seen as more effective by your peers, your boss, your customers, and your spouse? Mm-hmm. And then I've so many times asked people this. In fact, the audience can even think about it, put an answer in their head.
Could I take a gander at it?
Sure, go ahead. I'd love for you to.
Asking questions of other people and being genuinely interested.
Very close, but not it.
Okay.
And listening, by the way. A lot of people, your audience will come up with listening. Yeah. And it's not that it's wrong, but the number one predictor is commitment to self-improvement.
Real? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And if you think about it from that, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The more I'm focused on trying to find ways to get better, the better I'll get. Mm-hmm. If I'm close to that. So that's where I said it really is asking other people as part of that.
Yeah.
But the real indicator is, so even with many executives and their families, I've said, go home tonight and say, okay, what can I do to be a better dad and a husband?
Yeah.
Here's the funny part. I had one client phone me and say, I tried your exercise. It didn't work out very well. All the kids phoned my wife the next day and said, when's dad dying? Right? Because that's the old question. That's our framework.
Yeah. Something changed about him. Why?
Something changed.
He's being weird.
Yeah, look how long it takes. You have a mustache and a beard. Think about have you ever taken it off?
Oh, yeah. Recently I just tried it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are going, gee, you look different. Have you lost weight?
Yeah.
They don't come up, oh, your mustache is missing.
Yeah, it takes like 10 years off.
Exactly.
Yeah. My daughter told me, she's like, you look like you have a butthole on your face. I'm like, really, dude?
Thanks for your warm-hearted moment.
Thanks for acknowledging me that way. Yeah, she literally said that. Then she felt badly. I was like, okay.
Now she's going to feel worse because we just put it on the airwaves.
Yeah. They know I do this, and they'll probably end up at a clip that they're going to see.
There you go.
So what is it? How do people find and what is it your desire? You have a book, you said it's coming out.
Book is coming out.
And what's the concept of the book?
Again, the concept is that somewhere about our early teenage years, we start around our mind focusing in one and two directions. We focus on fame, like I'm going to be the all-star of the football team, or I'm going to be, or the other direction is success. I want to be the best at this I can, but not so I can be famous, but just I think this is important. And you can shift a little, but primarily it starts to set a course by which your openness to things, to your point you made earlier. So what happens is if I'm in a success category, I'm really not doing it for public acknowledgement. So even like people do things for philanthropy, I'm not going to do it so my name is there. I'm going to do it because I really feel this community is important and I'm going to donate something. Where a fame person says, I want the banner over the front door, two different approaches. And what that does is causes a lot of thinking as to how you approach questions. And this will not surprise you that in the research I've done so far, 75% of men are in the fame column and 75% of women are in the success column, which explains sometimes that challenge of the relationship.
Do you think there's a third column that's more, better to pursue? I have a whole theory on like influencers and people trying to become famous online, and they have very surface level concepts, but they're really wanting to be the thought leader. They want to be the influencer that has the following and all the things that come with it. Well, I know I need to write a book. What's it going to be about? I don't know. I just need a book. Whereas if you reverse that, my business partner is a perfect example. I call him a socially reluctant entrepreneur. He spoke here last year. He was the first speaker up. And I said, dude, you are everything that Gary Vaynerchuk is without the swearing. He really is. Like Gary V built his brand based on everything that's happened to me is a byproduct. Right. I'm just putting out value and what I believe and how I think it can help people. And the books came because of it. The speaking engagements came because of it. Because it developed I call it a planet versus a moon. You know, a lot of people want to be a moon.
That's right.
And seen from the planet, but nobody wants to build the planet. Because with the gravitational pull where your feet are grounded. I want to be the moon because it's shiny and sometimes you can see a part of it, but there's not much there. There's not much substance. And I don't know. I think there's probably more of a passion of purpose, I guess.
See, maybe in my hypothesis, that falls more into the success category.
Okay.
So you can be both.
Yeah.
But I think what drives you. So to your point, you talked about if I'm a fame person, I'm going to write the book. I'm going to check every hour how it's selling. I'm going to be totally driven by that. I'm going to give it to all my friends. I'm going to go make speeches and tell people how wonderful I am. A success person's kind of like the turtle.
Yeah.
They go along and you don't really know how effective they are. Another word I sometimes use is understated. They're the person you walk in and you try to impress them. And you and I have been in those scenarios. The person's trying to impress them and you go, oh, I wouldn't try to impress that person. They're better than you. Right. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. And you could see that sometimes people's first impressions are really good and the second, third, and fourth impressions are really bad. I would say I call it the dating principle, right? The dating principle, that first date you go on is as good as it ever gets. Yeah. And after that, it's downhill. Are you married by chance?
I am.
Oh, right on. How long?
Only about 2 years.
2 years. Very cool.
Yeah, but I was married longer before, so therefore my wife passed away. So
okay.
Yeah, so I have a good handle on the marriage criteria. Yeah.
Well, how long was your first marriage?
26 years.
26 years. We're coming upon, my wife and I just passed 24.
Fantastic. That's hard to do.
It is. In this day and age.
It's really hard.
I'm thinking Gen X though. We kind of like we bucked the trend a little bit. Yeah. I would say for them, a lot of the people I went to high school with, a lot of them are still married.
That's impressive.
It is. I think that's surprising.
But you're Gen X. I would have to do a lot of facelift to get back to that.
Well, Howard, how do people find and follow you and all that fun stuff? And what do you want to put out there for people to pay attention to?
We'll have a TEDx talk going out, and my TEDx talk is on the power of humanity. Should be released soon. Other than that, I'm happily retired, contented, and if I can help somebody, happy to help them. But I'm not promoting anything.
Is there a website they can go to?
Sure, they could go to howardjmorgan.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, there you go. Everything will be in the description as always. Of course, if you got any value out of the podcast, please share it. Tell somebody about it. mmtbp.com is the website. I forgot to mention that, yes, we're a mostly Middle Tennessee business podcast, but sometimes we deviate. We have people from other parts of the country, and we're at the Tremont Mansion today doing it live, so to speak, with a bunch of speakers here for a TEDx conference. And we're just, introducing ourselves to new people. I thank you for being on, sir.
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And I think, keep it up and look forward to future episodes.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you.